What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trash Films Home Video. Today we're going to be talking about the Vinegar Syndrome release of David Dakota's Nightmare Sisters, starring Brink Stevens, Linnea Quigley, and Michelle Bauer. Let me show you. Oh wait, this is the back. I mean, the artwork on this is pretty crazy. I mean, this looks a little bit like a, well, mostly the font there looks like a really bad 80s hair metal font, but, and then this is the inside here. That's the cover we get. On the back. And this, let's see, old man glasses. Eventually I'm going to bring up a font whenever I put on my glasses, or bring up something. Old man glasses time. Okay. 1987. I was trying to see if it was 1989, because apparently 1989 is just a year I can't get away from when reviewing movies. So Nightmare Sisters. Let's just say something straight away. This is not a horror film. It is a goofy college comedy with horror undertones, I guess you could say. We have Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, and Michelle Bauer, and they are members of a sorority. Their sorority sisters are out of town, and they decide to have a party. And of course, at the beginning of the movie, this is what they look like. Michelle Bauer, her thing is cooking and eating. Linnea Quigley, I don't really know. I guess her thing is music. I don't know. She plays piano and tries to sing. She's got these awful buck teeth. And then Brink Stevens is she's a hoarder. In the beginning scene, she comes home to the sorority house to show off her haul, as a lot of people do, especially on here, that she got from the flea market. And in that haul, she has a crystal ball. Unbeknownst to them, it houses a demon, a succubus. So they call over some guys, and they hang out, they play Twister, they eat, and they have a seance. And once the seance happens, the demon is released from the crystal ball and turns them into the Nightmare Sisters. From this moment until for a good 5 minutes or so, it's nothing but them being without clothing for quite a while. And then it just continues and continues and continues. Yeah. A lot of it. Whole lot of it. Anyway, they dispatch their victims, or suck the souls out, by biting on and then they turn to dust. There's really no gore in the movie. It is a comedy. It is not a horror film. Like I said, there are horror undertones, but it's not a horror film. It's very goofy, very silly. They were not taking themselves seriously, which is good. It's not a bad thing. You know, this was apparently something that ran on Up All Night a lot. I'm at the age where I knew what Up All Night was. I just never watched it when I was younger. It wasn't something that I watched USA a lot, but I never watched USA Up All Night. I don't know, but apparently this aired a ton on USA Up All Night. Obviously a censored version. You know, it's David Dakota film with Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, and Michelle Bauer. That's pretty much what people are going to buy this for. You're not going for quality of film. You're going for nostalgia. You're going for, because you know what you're going to get yourself into when you buy a film directed by David Dakota, starring these ladies. That being said, this movie was shot literally in 4 days. 4 days with scraps. They literally used 35 millimeter scraps. So honestly, the fact that that anything out of this is watchable is very commendable. Like I said, you know what you're going to get into when you're purchasing something like this. If that's what you're thinking in your head, imagine it. That's exactly what you're getting. You're getting a goofy comedy with these three scream queens of the time, directed by a guy that did a lot of full moon pictures. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Just be prepared for, very cheesy, very, very low budget, very goofy kind of stuff. We get a lot of static shots, a lot of you're gonna set a camera in a corner and just let them go. The beginning scene where they're on a couch, she's showing off her haul from the flea market, seems like it lasts forever. Somehow though, it doesn't feel super boring. I don't know how that works. Probably because the ladies were having a lot of fun, because there is a special feature where they talk to the writer and he remembers them being very excited because they typically, in movies, they had a few lines, they took their top off and they got killed. That was kind of, the length or the depth of their characters that they played. So at least in this, the characters are not deep. The characters are not written to be deep or, have full range of emotion, but they got to do something that wasn't just that. So, and you could tell that they were having a good time with it. They were having fun with it. And that always comes across on screen, no matter what you're doing. No matter if you're doing, a historical period piece that's, some 3-hour epic thing, or a movie that you shoot in a house for 4 days with film scraps. It's going to come across, and it does come across. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a great movie. It's a movie that was shot in 4 days in a house. That's what you're getting. So, do I recommend it? I recommend it to the audience that it was intended for, and you probably know who you are. And honestly, if you're that audience and you grew up around this time, you probably already own this. But if you don't, and you enjoy really low budget 80s silliness, I want to pick up Nightmare Sisters. Now, I will say, this thing should not look as good as it looks. I don't know what kind of witchery or witchcraft or magic that Vinegar Syndrome does, but the fact that this thing looks as good as it does blows my mind. David Dakota literally said he used film scraps that had been exposed, different exposures. And the fact that this thing looks as good as it does, crazy. Vinegar Syndrome puts as much love into their stuff as these ladies did into their performances. And you got to commend them on taking a movie like Nightmare Sisters and giving it the kind of treatment that literally no one else would. And that's why I think they're so important, is that they're going to put as much love into Nightmare Sisters as they, do the Beastmaster on 4K. Or, you know, I don't know. What are some of their other big releases? Lots of other big releases. They're going to put as much love into those releases, Taming the T-Rex, as they do into this, which is why we love them. Let me open this up, go over the special features. There's not a whole lot here feature-wise. It's not bad though. For Nightmare Sisters, it's, you know, decent. We do get a commentary track with David Dakota and Linnea Quigley. I didn't listen to it. It's probably fairly entertaining. David Dakota is pretty entertaining, and we all know Linnea Quigley. We get an introduction by Dakota where he talks about the film scraps and the restoration and things like that. And then we get an interview with writer and associate producer Kenneth Hall. He's the one that was speaking about how excited they were to be able to actually have a little bit of meat on their rolls. We also get the alternate TV version, which, I don't know, I guess somebody might want to watch that for nostalgia purposes. And then we also get some bloopers and outtakes, reversible cover art. Wait a minute. I don't have any reversible cover art. I've got this. I don't know about you, but I don't want that as the cover. Anyway, I don't know why it says that. This is not reversible. Yeah, not reversible. I don't know. It says reversible cover art. It's not reversible. Oh well. Anyway. So yeah, Nightmare Sisters from Vinegar Syndrome. Like I said, if you are the audience for this, you probably know who you are, and you probably already own it. But if you're not, there it is. Man, these slip covers. Just so nice. All right, that's really all I got for you today. I will have a couple unboxings coming up. Nothing crazy amazing, but some cool stuff in there. So that will come later this week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday. Also, I'm trying out a new lighting thing, so we're going to see how that goes. I do like it for this kind of stuff. I don't know about this kind of stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, for the 5 people that are watching this, thank you. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Who knows? See you later.